the latest iteration of the mobile solution that we have from the product team. This the biggest change this time. I mean, compared to anywhere, would be we have a single application this time, and it's a role-based interface. So it's a, I mean, a single application that can be downloaded from the Android store or the Apple store, and that single application contains multiple, features that we normally expect from a mobile solution. Okay, so we have currently gone live with four different mobile solutions. Mobile applications inside the mobile application, which is Tech Mobile, which is technician, the work supervisor, and the inspection and SR, service requests. Okay. We are also planning to release additional applications like inventory counts and asset manager and all that. So I have that covered in a slide over here, which shows the rollout plans. Okay. So this is very important for you to understand that this time we have a single application, not multiple applications for different functionalities. A single application which contains multiple features that we expect from mobile. Okay. We can configure security access for these applications, and based on the security access that has been configured, you will see the functionalities or the touch points basically. Okay. So then we have something called a blue button. Blue button essentially, shows the next best option that is available for user. It basically kind of predicts that this is the next thing that you're probably gonna click, right? So it guides the user in a way that this is the next option you might want to click and proceed forward. Okay. And then we have a bunch of touch points in the mobile solution this time. This is pretty much like buttons, okay, which are provided inside the mobile applications for different functionalities. As you can see, we have map functionalities, we have safety features, we have buttons to open the materials and tools pages, inspections, right? So these options are available, and these are all defined as multiple icons which can be reusable. These are all reusable. Um, okay. So this time we have a very good support from, unlike anywhere, this time we have a tool that comes directly from the product team, which can be used to make configuration changes and customizations. So currently that tool is still being upgraded because today we have to make changes in XML and all, but going forward, we'll have the similar sort of capability like we have in application designer for Maximo. We can drag and drop stuff and, design our pages accordingly. So we have the screenshot that you see over here. This is a future release, which has not even been released. Today, the application configurator that we have will consist of XMLs. Like I mentioned, this time we have already gone live with technician, supervisor, and inspection and so service requests. The one nice thing that you might want to know about this application is that the applications are very seamlessly integrated with each other. You have touch points to move from one application to another. It doesn't feel like that you're using multiple applications in a mobile device. Essentially, for the user, from the user perspective, they are using a single application. But underneath that, we have multiple, smaller mobile applications defined that resources developers like you and me will have to configure and customize in order to meet user requirements. All right. So I just want to show you a quick look of the roadmap that we have. As you can see, we have planned for asset manager, inventory counting, receiving and shipments. All of these capabilities are planned to be added. Along with it, we are also having upgrades to the existing applications which are already been deployed. Okay. And these are some additional details about the features which have been added and which are being planned for future releases. Okay, all this is there. Okay, now let's just dive into the hands-on. So inside this VM, you have to start the Maximo server. Okay, so please start the Maximo server, and then you can also log into Maximo. Let me just get this. Okay, while you are starting the Maximo server, also install the Maximo mobile application in your mobile device. So let's get to this mobile Play Store part. I have this emulator. So in the Play Store, search for Maximo Mobile. You'll come across two different applications by IBM. Okay, one is Maximo Mobile for EAM, and the other one is just IBM Maximo Mobile. So by now you're all aware of Maximo Application Suite, right? So it has come out. It has been over a year now that we have released Maximo Application Suite. So Maximo Application Suite comes out of box with mobile install, right? So if you're installing Maximo Manage, which is basically the same thing as Maximo EAM. So when you install Maximo Manage, it comes out of box with mobile. But for EAM, we have to separately install the mobile, the mobile application, right? So if you're using mobile with EAM, then you should download this black background application which says Maximo Mobile for EAM. Okay. So in this case, our environments are all on, EAM. So this is the one that you're required to download. This is the one that I've also downloaded in my emulator. Okay. If you're using Maximo Mobile for mass, then you have to download this white background application. This is Maximo Mobile. Okay. Please keep that in mind. You can also remember that just by looking at this, because the black background already says, also says that it's for EAM, right? So EAM and mass are two separate entities altogether. Okay. All right. So install this. Okay. So when you log in, you should be able to see a screen like this. So initially your options, up till inspections, it will probably be grayed out.
Grayed out, yes.
It will gradually download the application details. If I just want to show you something on the mobile, then I'm going to jump back into the browser itself, because this mobile applications are designed in such a way that you can also access it from the browser. So, okay, so I'll just explain some basic things. Just keep an eye and just listen to me what I'm saying. Okay, so these mobile applications, like I mentioned, no, in Anywhere we had multiple mobile applications for different, purposes. For inventory we had a different one. For technician we had a different one. For work approval we had a different one. But this time we have collated all of that into a single mobile application, and we have used security groups to control the user access, right? Now, these applications are basically built on React, and these applications are also available in your browser. Okay. These applications are available under work order management. So if you come over work order management, you'll see something called role-based applications. Okay. So inside role-based applications, you see you have four applications over here. One is inspection, technician, work approval, and service request. So all four of these applications are basically the mobile applications. Okay. When you open any one, let me open technician for you. So as you see, this is a graphite application. This is the terminology. Okay, never mind. If you see this, just reload it. If you see this, this graphite application is basically what we call for our the new IBM design framework. Okay, so it's a graphite application. The name of the application is Tech Mobile, and this is the application. It is essentially the same screen that you are going to find. Okay, let me open something where you see some work orders. Okay. Okay, so these are the work orders. So this is essentially the same screen that you'll see over here if I go to my schedule. Hold on. Okay, by the time this loads, let me explain a few more things. We have opened Tech Mobile application. Okay, so this Tech Mobile application, as you know, we have a navigator, right? We were basically at the navigator only. If I click on this, it will go back to that blue screen which had a bunch of options, right? So that is what we call as the navigator. Okay, so okay, there you go. So this is the same screen, right? As you can see, we can access it from both places. The only difference is in the mobile you have something called a disconnected or offline mode. Don't have that option available in the browser, of course, right? We can't do that. Now, what I wanted to show you is this is the navigator. So we also have the navigator over here, but you'll notice a very stark difference over here. You see, we have only three options available. Whereas in the mobile application, we have got a bunch of applications. The reason for this is um, we are currently accessing the Tech Mobile application in our browser. So the Tech Mobile application only consists of these three options, right? The first three options belong to Tech Mobile. The approvals is this option belongs to the work approvals application. The service request belongs to service request, and inspection belongs to the inspection application. Okay, so that's how it is designed. Now, like I was mentioning, that we have four underlying applications inside Maximo Mobile, and all of those are coming together. That is why in this navigator you see all the options available in this navigator screen, right? But in the browser, when you open it one by one, now if I open, inspections from here, you'll see we only have one option, which is inspection. Okay, let me go to the navigator. See, there's just one option, right? So this is now. I hope now you understand how this Maximo mobile thing is actually showing multiple applications in a single screen. Right? So this is the main underlying difference with between mobile and anyway. We will have more options added over here as we release inventory counts, as we release receiving and issues and receipts, and those applications will also get added in the same list. However, those will be different applications inside our Maximo browser. Okay. All right. So we can essentially take a look at the browser as well if you're not able to access it in your mobile phone, but you can also access it from your browser. Okay. So what we are going to do is the first thing that we will do is we will take a look at the technician application. We will take a look at how the technician application shows up work orders and what sort of details do we get inside each work order, and then we'll try to create a work order. We'll walk through the run through the flow of the entire work order. All right, that's the plan. We'll also take a look at the inspection features that is available here. Okay. Before we start doing that, I just want to mention another thing. That earlier we used to have these work centers available, right? So over here also we have this work center option available, right? Conduct an inspection, work execution, work supervision. Now, as you can see already that both of these two options are made available today. You also have work centers to do conduct an inspection, and you also have a role-based inspection application. So the idea of still having the work centers available is because that we have a lot of customers who are still using these work centers extensively. So this is an opportunity for them to migrate from using work centers into a graphic application, which basically has better performance compared to work centers. It is also compatible with mobile. So I mean, we are just giving the customers an opportunity to take their time and migrate to the newer applications. That is the reason you still have work centers, and we will still continue having work centers even after these common things are eventually migrated, because we have applications like inspection forms, right? Inspection forms are designed in a work center, so we don't have a role-based application for designing inspection form, right? So that will still remain. So today also, if you have to, even if you're using mass and all, if you have to design an inspection form, you have to do it in the work center, and you can choose to run the inspection either using conduct an inspection work center, or you can use the inspection role-based application to run the inspections, right? So that is a choice that you have with you. The only difference is the inspection role-based application is also available with Maximo Mobile. So it is very seamless now. It's so I mean, you can access the same application from different places over here. I mean, this is also very helpful when we are going to make configuration changes, because when we make some changes, we would actually like to preview it right then and there in the browser and then publish it to a mobile, so that we don't have to, we can reduce the testing time or development time. We'll take a look at that, how to do that in the future, right? Okay. Let's take a look at this work order that we have. So this is the work order details page. I believe all of you should be able to access this from your browsers. Since you're able to access Maximo, you're free to access the technician application as well. So in the navigator, we have got three options. First option is My Schedule. My Schedule is nothing but the list of work orders which are assigned to me. Okay, now I mentioned assigned to me, but that is not exactly correct. I have got three queries, right? There is a drop down inside My Schedule. So from here I can select whatever I want to see, and I can also modify these queries. Okay, we'll take a look at these queries. Where are these modified from in the next session, because that is again defined using object structures. Some of you might already know this, because this is the same way how it worked in work centers as well. So Maximo is essentially communicating using object structures. Okay, so from this Graphite application, we are communicating with Maximo application server via object structures. Now, in the object structures, we know that we can define various queries. Using these queries, we can filter the object structure and extract our required values. I mean, extract our required records. So similarly, we have to figure out which object structure is being used to show the records over here. We have to look at the app.xml for that. Um, and then we can open our object structure and we can go to the queries and find out which queries are I need to tweak in order to change the behavior in this case. So my schedule is basically where you see the list of the work orders, which basically, I mean, I can either say assign to you or whatever you want to see based on your drop down. Okay. Materials and tools will basically show you all the materials and tools that you will need for your assigned work, right? So there's an assigned work query over here. From this assigned work query, you can, I mean, whatever work that has been assigned to you, let's say there are 10 materials which are reserved for your assigned work orders. So you can take a look at all the materials which are reserved for you, and you can, pretty much select it from here and collect it, which would essentially move those materials into actuals. Okay. You can also do that within the work order, or you can also choose to do that from the beginning in the from the navigator itself. The idea of giving this option over here is it is basically imagining a situation where a technician is going to start his or her day's work, and before the technician starts, he or she wants to collect all the required materials and tools which is required to to perform the work orders throughout the day. So they can pretty much open this option directly, get a list of all the materials and tools reserved for them, and then they can collect all of that and then they start the work, right, one by one. That is the second option. The third option is map. This is pretty self-explanatory because this is what we use to view all the different work orders on a map. So we have spatial setup in this environment. However, I believe the map has not yet been configured because I don't see a lot of work orders showing up on this map. Okay, let me just explain the map. Okay, let this load for some time. So then we have something called layers. Okay, inside a map, we have got layers. So we can click on this button. Just give me some time. It's probably trying to load. So we can select layers from here. We can create multiple layers in a map, right? So there would be a base map layer. Then there would be, let's say, water connections layer. Then there would be something for electricity connections, let's say. Then there would be something for all the SRs that you want to see on the map, right? In order to see that, you'll have to configure the locations accordingly with latitude and longitude details. Only then you'll be able to see those details on the map, right? So all those layers, you can turn on and turn off the layers according to your wishes by clicking on this icon. Okay. So you'll get a list of all the layers that you have available and you can turn off and turn on based on a switch. Okay. That's how it is. Okay, there you go. There is a map. Okay, so this is how it looks like. This is the base map. Then I have a layer for work order and SR. I have a layer for electric service, a layer for water service. Okay, so I can pretty much turn on and turn off these layers according to my requirements or according to whatever I want to see. Okay. So this is how I can control that. I cannot zoom out in this emulator for some reason. If you're able to log into your mobile screen, I can try to zoom out and see what it's like. But I don't imagine that you'll be able to see any work orders because I believe the locations needs to be configured appropriately in order to see that. Okay. All right. So that is map. Okay. From here you can switch directly from map back to the list view. This one is the list view. Okay. So that is the Tech Mobile application, which we have, the options that we get from the navigator. Okay. Now let's take a look at the work order, my schedule page and the work order details. After this, we'll all try to create a work order in Maximo and we'll try to, complete a basic flow. We'll just try to attach an inspection form to the work order. We'll have a set associated to it. Um, we'll, um, we'll have some planned materials, some tasks, maybe associate a job plan to it. right? So you'll automatically have some tasks, have some planned material so that we can, receive that material from mobile, and then we'll close the work order. And after we perform the inspection. So a normal flow is what we will try to cover. Okay, this will take some time to refresh. Anyway, so let me show it to you over here. Go back to list view. Okay, so in the list view, in the My Schedule page, essentially, this is the My Schedule page, right? So in the list view, you have the first option is to select the drop down, select the query from the drop down menu. Then you have two options to say, see the list view or the map view, right? Then you have the number of records. You have a check for updates button in case, when you're online, you can check for updates, or maybe when you're, let's say, you went offline and then you're coming back online. So you might want to do a check for updates in that case to see if there are additional work orders which have been assigned. One more thing I need to mention here, that in the mobile application, unlike anywhere, we don't have any switch to toggle offline mode. Okay. In this case, it will automatically enter offline mode when you don't have network, right? So you can simulate that by turning on the flight mode in your mobile device. Okay. So when I turn it on with some time. There you go. So it automatically gives you a pop-up message that you're working offline. Okay. And again, if you turn it off, it will automatically go back online. Okay. So that is how disconnected mode has been configured in this application. You don't get a separate dedicated switch where you can, in your mobile device, you should be able to see this happen much more seamlessly. So we have a system property which is called there's a timeout property for mobile. Okay. So that is by default set to 30 seconds. Okay. So it will basically give 30 seconds to refresh all the data that is there. Okay. Basic work order data won't take much time, but spatial and map and all that long data associated. So it is advised, it is recommended that you increase that timeout data so that timeout value so that it can, it can have the time
Yeah.
to refresh all that data. Okay, so if you noticed when you first log into the mobile device, in this icon, it would essentially set up all the applications. It would
Got it.
show you the progress bar as well, right? So over there, you should be able to see that refresh happening. And we actually got issue from one of our business partners. They were basically trying to sync failure codes. Okay, so they had over 2 lakh failure codes set up in their environment. So every time they were logging in, they were getting the timeout thing, and the failure codes won't refresh, right? So with the latest version of Maximo Mobile, we have this new system property defined where you can increase the timeout value, and now you can basically use that to download the entire set of data that you need on your mobile device so you can work offline. You don't have to do that one by one, work order by work order. And ideally, see, normally a technician will not be,
Yep.
is not likely to use this option, work rate.
Yes, you're right.
You
Yeah.
have created bunch of sample work orders, and that is why you have so much huge records.
Yeah.
You should be ideally using assigned work. And there is a assigned work. I mean, if you look at the underlying query, name of the object structure is MX API WO detail, right?
Okay.
If you go to this object structure, you can go to the let me do this right now. Okay. That part is very similar to the work center because we are still communicating with the object structures using REST API.
Got it.
Okay. So we can, how I figured out this object structure name, I'll explain that. See, for work order, we know, I think most of us already know this is the object structure. But for other applications, we might have to figure out what is the name of the object structure. For that, we have to look at the app.xml. Okay, so this is the work object structure which is being used for this tech mobile application. So inside this object structure, you can scroll all the way down over here to query definition. And inside query definition, you will find a bunch of queries. and you'll have to, so these are the queries. You see technician, UX technician woe list, UX technician status filter woe list. These are used in work centers. Okay, these are not the ones that we would like to change here. Okay, so you have something called created locally. So that is perhaps the, I mean, we'll have, this is also, we can also figure out which query is being used from the app.xml also. But
Okay.
I mean, you can just take a look at it and find out which one is possibly going to be the assigned work. So this is the assigned work order list. Now I have made some changes to this query already, but if you look at your query, you'll see that this query basically fetches those work orders which have been assigned to you in assignments. Okay. So let's say your work order has 10 tasks and the tasks have been assigned to certain labor records, right? Now labor IDs. They can basically log into Maximo and find out that they have those tasks showing up as work orders, in their assigned work. So that is the ideal intention of using the assigned work and the technician. I mean, ideally, the technician should get their assigned work in their mobile and they will just work on it, right? So you shouldn't have a huge data like that. But in case you do have, in case uh, I mean, some customer decides to have a lot of records assigned to a particular technician in a day, that should not be an issue because you can choose to work offline and you don't have to separately, sync up all this data. Okay, for some, we'll have to take a look at the assigned work. You can also do this. How can we get some work order data reflected in the assigned work option? Yeah, so you don't have a button to toggle between offline mode and
Icon.
online mode. So first of all, when you go offline, you get a message like that. A red bar shows up saying that you are offline, right? Apart from that, you see this cloud icon. This cloud
Okay.
icon will be striped. I mean, there will be a kind of a diagonal line going over it, which would denote that the sync is currently deactivated. Right? So you can take that as a observation that you are currently not online. Okay. So let me show that. Okay. So see, there you go. That's how it shows up when you're not online. And when we again go back to online mode, so it will take some time, but it'll be, yeah, there you go. Okay. So
Okay.
that's how you can understand whether you are currently online or offline. Okay. Apart from that, you also get those pop-ups when you go offline. Now let's take a look at a single work order in detail. So I created a work order which contains some additional details. Let me find that out. 37, I think. Let me see. Okay, you see this option over here, barcode scan. This essentially can be used to scan a asset or a location if you have location barcodes available and all. So essentially, you can scan something like that, and you can filter on your list automatically. It will show the work orders which are created for that particular asset that you scan, right? So that is what this barcode scan option is given over here for. Okay, let me show it to you here only. Okay, so this is a work order that I created manually in my work orders application, right? From Maximo itself. Okay, so since it was created by me, I was able to find out from the drop down, work created by me. But I had to search from that 10,000 records, so I can pretty much, we can search the work order number directly like that. I showed you. Okay, so inside the work order, what do we have? We have the description showing up over here, the work type and the work order number showing up here. We have the status showing up over here. Since I think I have not added priority. If I had added priority, we also have the priority showing up right next to the status value. And this option is to edit the work order in case I want to change something. Okay. Inside details, you have this option where you can show long description. So long description can be entered and displayed over here. Okay, these are all scheduled dates, scheduled start and scheduled stop dates. Okay, and it has automatically calculated the duration and it is showing up over there. So in the next day's session, we'll try to make some changes in this section of the application. Okay, we want to change some data from here, show something else if we can. Okay, all right. Then you see there's a bunch of touch points over here. Okay. You remember in the PPT I showed you, we have a lot of touch points now. So these are essentially those touch points. These will navigate you from this application, or let's just say from this page to a different one. Okay. So in the mobile application, if I click on this, let me see what happens when I click on this. Okay, so see, it will automatically take me to the inspection application. Now in the browser, it is changing the application altogether, right? But if I do that in my mobile application, there you go. Okay. So if it will again take some time to load this. Okay. So if I do that in my mobile application, what it will do, it already has that inspection application inside it, right? I mean, it's not a separate application. It's just a separate option inside the navigator. So it will automatically open my inspection that is related to my work order. Okay. So so I hope you understand the difference between the browser and the mobile. I'll show you that once the thing loads. Still loading. So give it some time. Um, so that's how we can navigate from one application to another application, or one page to another page. It can be within the same application also. For example, if I go back, okay, ignore this message. Okay, if I go back, you see there's a touch point for tasks. This is the touch point which will basically show me the work order tasks. Okay, so I can click on it. It will show me the tasks page. Now I'm still inside the Tech Mobile application. It's just a different page. Okay, so see, it is very important to understand. So let's say your customer is using the mobile application, right? Now they have requested that I want to see a particular change in a particular page, right? So they say that I want to see this particular field show up under this application, under this option, right? So as a developer or as a consultant, it is our job to figure out which application is it. First of all, does it belong to? After we figure out which application it belongs to, then we have to figure out which page does it belong to. Okay, so all of these pages are defined separately inside the application XML. That is our job to figure out. Okay, which page does it belong to? Just like we do in case of Maximo web application, that there is an application inside that we have multiple tabs, and then inside a tab there's multiple table section and stuff like that, and some changes needs to be done somewhere, so it's very easy to identify in that case. But in this case, you don't get those tabs or separate application as such, so you have to understand which application and which page does it belong to, and then make the required changes. Okay, all right. So you understand the touch points. This is for material and tasks, material and tools. So here is a material which was reserved. I have already received this material from here only. Okay. So I mean, we'll do another one. Okay, we'll do another one. I'm just explaining what it's like, in the application. We'll move to another work order. So we'll see how it actually moves to actuals when we receive the material from here. Okay. Okay, this touch point is basically used for work log. Okay, so we can enter any log from here. It will pretty much show up as a chat sort of thing. Okay, sample log 2. Okay, okay, so it will show up with the name of your user. Where is it? Okay. There you go. So it will show up with the name of your user ID. If you have bigger screens, it should show up better for you. Okay, and it also does show up pretty nicely on the mobile phones. Okay, there you have. See, from here we can also access work log. So there it is. Okay, it has still not refreshed my latest log. So there I have it. Okay, okay, there's something I have to explain here. This is a parent work order. Okay, parent work order containing 3 tasks. Okay, so from here, if I look at the parent work order, I mean, I can go inside the tasks, and here I have an option to complete the tasks directly. I mean, I don't have granular status change options here. So from here, I can only mark them as complete. You will get an option like this. Okay, so let me open this. Okay, so if you expand a particular task, you get an option like this, which says mark complete. Okay, if I click on this task will directly go from its current status to complete. Okay, now let's say in case you want to let the technicians, change the status of the tasks in a granular level, then in that case, you would ideally choose to assign every particular task to a particular labor or a particular user, right? A mobile user. So when you do that, these tasks will essentially show up as separate work orders in your assigned work. So then you have multiple granular level status options available like this. You can change whatever you want. Okay, you can select whatever status you want from here. Okay, you understand the difference, right? It's basically a process thing. If you want users to, if you basically assign users to a parent work order, then they can change the tasks directly from here to complete status. Like I'm going to do this now. So see, it just went to complete. Okay, I'll click on done. Okay, did you notice the done button was colored blue? So that is the blue button concept that I was trying to explain at the beginning of the session. So it is basically used to show the user what is the next possible option that you're going to click on, right? So that is the function of that. If you create a new work order, you will see there's a blue button over here which says start work. So start work is basically the next best possible option for a technician to do, right? When they open the work order detail page. So that is how the blue button works. So you understand the touch points? Okay. Scroll down a little further. You will see something like assets, asset and location. You can change the downtime status from here. This is actually acting as a button. So I basically changed it from, up status to down. Let me just change it back to, oh, not from here, sorry. It's from here. Okay, from here I can choose this up button. And if you want to change this data, you can do that. Click OK, and there you go. Right, so these options are available. Okay, if you have any photograph attached with the asset, they can show up over here. Okay. You again can choose to select barcodes. Let's say you are editing the work order, you want to change the asset. You can do so by choosing the barcode from here. Okay. And okay, then you also have this option to attach whatever you want. Let's say you want to attach a particular default, a fault that you want to attach a photograph of that. So those options are available. You can also attach documents. All those, whatever is supported in Maximo is also supported here. You can create follow-up work from here. I created another follow-up work order. So you can create a follow-up work directly from here. Once you're done with it, you can click on done. So this is pretty much what we have in the technician application. Okay. And so now what we'll do is we'll try to create a work order from Maximo, and we'll also perform inspections. Let me see. Okay. There are two sort of changes, customizations that you can do. One thing is displaying data, right? Changing some field or adding a new field. Those things are custom change, configuration changes, right? For that, you have to make changes to app.xml. But the other sort of changes would be adding a button, or you would allow users to click on it, and that should do something, right? So for that sort of changes, you'll have to write codes. Okay. So we basically, like I mentioned, this is built on React. So if you are well versed with React.js, it would be very easy to pick up the sort of code that is working in the backend of this application. You'll have to write that sort of a code to basically control the behavior, what should happen when you click on a button. Okay. So that is definitely possible. These icons are also made available. You can reuse these icons, and you can develop your own custom method. That those capabilities have been added in the configurator tool. But like I mentioned, the JavaScript class has to be developed by you, and you'll have to first understand that. Okay. Look at the existing class files and understand how that has been built, and then accordingly make your own customization. All right. So what I wanted to show you here is that we can also move to the inspections page from the mobile screen and see this is how it looks like. I have already completed this inspection. So this is how this is basically looking like. Okay. So these inspection forms are again designed from your inspection forms application. And I think we have a lot more capability today in the inspection forms application, and we are still adding capabilities to it. But even after doing this inspection, if you choose to create work orders automatically based on certain conditions, you can write your own automation script to do so. Okay. So those customizations can be done simply using automation script. Many business partners have come up to us and asking questions like, let's say there's a numeric value that I want the user to enter for a particular inspection question. For example, RPM, right? So if the value is within desired limits, it should be green in color. If it's not within the desired limits, then it should be red in color. See, these sort of customizations, you'll have to write a code for it. Okay, you'll have to write a code for it. There is a very beautiful sample that I'll be sharing with you guys, which is based on work order priority. So based on the priority, it will color a particular field. Okay, so you can use that sort of coding. It is much more easier now compared to what it was in a work center or in anywhere. So it is much more easier now, but still you'll have to write a code in order to achieve those sort of requirements. Okay. What you can do is, if you choose to make changes to GL accounts from your mobile device, you can just add a simple field, and that will that by that way you can change that. Uh, I mean, you can change the GL accounts. So basically, two places, right? I mean, you can also create a work order that is a separate page altogether, and in the work order details page also, you can add your GL accounts. Okay, now let's take a look at the work order. We'll try and flow through a work order here. So I created this work order. This is a duplicate of the previous work order that I was trying to show you. So I have an asset selected over here. I have associated a meter this time. So I think I should be able to select some meter readings from the application. So I have a GL account that automatically got selected. Okay. Work type is set as PM. I have selected a job plan here. This job plan, there's the job plan. This job plan contains 3 tasks, and it also contains a plan material. So those details have automatically been added to the work order. I've also added this inspection form, which is basically a pump inspection. Okay. Now, as you all know, when we select inspection form and save it, it will automatically create an inspection result. So this inspection result is the one that we'll try and complete from the mobile device. Okay. Um, I also selected some scheduled start and stop date because that shows up in the mobile device. So I'm just populating some data for that. Okay, and these are normal details. You can take a look at the plans tab, so which has 3 tasks. Okay, as of now, all of those are in approved status, and I also have a plan material and 3 plan labor also there. I have a plan material, which is this. Okay, so this is pretty much my work order. Now we'll try and take a look at this work order uh, from our browser, and we'll also see if I can access it from the mobile device. Moment. Okay, there it is. Let's see if that shows up in the mobile as well. This will take some time. Okay, let's wait for this to load. We'll try and do the inspection from here only. Okay. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the details that we can see inside the sample work order. Okay, I should have added some long description, then that would show up here. Okay, there you go. So there's a start work button that shows up here. This start work button will essentially start the work timer as well as also change the status to in progress. Okay, I want to add 2 more details here real quick. Okay, let's try and find out if that shows up. Okay, so see, the priority shows up over here. The long description is also coming up over here. Okay, so somebody mentioned whether we can change the asset from here. So first, let's try and put this in edit mode. So we can change the description, the long description, the schedule start, schedule stop, estimated duration, the work type, and there you go. From here, we can change the asset. Okay. So we can scan or we can search, and this is an identify option. Okay. So this option gets enabled when you have, uh, I think when you have assist and yeah, I think assist and digital twin deployed. So what happens is when you take a photograph, it automatically identifies which asset is it. So it gives you a list of possible assets, and you can select from there. So that is a additional capability which we have. But apart from that, these two comes without all those additional add-ons. You can scan a barcode or you can directly search from a lookup. Okay. Same thing is also available for location. You can scan for a location or you can search for a location. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to make that change here because I've associated a meter and I want to add some meter values here. So I'll just cancel that. Okay. Okay. So first thing what I'll do is let me just start the work. So, okay, there you go. The status automatically changed to in progress and the timer has also started. Okay. So here, one thing I want to tell you is there is another system property which was introduced because a lot of customers didn't want this timer to get started or, they didn't want the timer to automatically start when the start work is happening. So those behaviors can be controlled using several additional system properties which has been added. Now I have a document containing all those system properties and their usage. So if you go through that, you'll understand all the different system properties which has been recently introduced. Now, as expected, we have three tasks. Okay, so we can directly complete the tasks from here. Let me complete the first two tasks for now and leave the third one open. Okay, and we'll take a look at the materials. Okay, so I can go here and click on get reserved items. I can also request for additional materials from here. Okay, here is one thing I want to mention. Get reserved item. This will only happen if your reservation has been successfully placed, right? So this will not automatically create your inventory usage records or not. So it assumes that you already have all those in place and you have the approvals ready. You just check this box and get selected. What it will do is it will automatically move this to the actuals tab, right, in the work order. If I go and check the actuals tab, I should let's find it out. So, okay, see, there you go. So it automatically populates that. Okay. Okay, report work basically from here you can select any failure class, problem cause and remedy if you want to. You also have options to select the labors. You can add labors if you want. You can also, enter your labor hours from here. Okay, materials used is what we have already seen. What was used. Tools used are also shown up over here. So this page is called report work. Report work can also be accessed using this particular touch point. You see this one, the kind of a board sort of thing. So this can be also used to access the report work page. From here you can modify all this information: the failure code, the materials used, tools used, and labor data. Okay, and you can also choose to complete the entire work from here. All right. Before that, I just want to go through the inspections. Okay. And work log, I have already seen, material task we've seen. Let's take a look at the inspections now. Okay. I'll just want to do the inspection from here. Nice. I'll not do the inspection from here. Okay, see, now we have this meter option available because I have associated some meters with this asset, right? Earlier it was not showing up because there was no meters, right? So we'll make some meter, we'll add some meter data also. That is still loading. Okay, let's do that then. So if I click on this, so I've added two different meters. One is a continuous meter and the other one is a gauge meter. Okay. So what I can do, I can choose to update the values. So run hour. I have set this meter as a delta reading. Okay. So whatever I enter, it will basically add up to the previous value. So let's say I have added 100. Okay. My previous value was 450. Okay. Okay. For some reason, this is choosing to be actual value. Okay. I choose a delta, but anyway, I'll have to see that. This is gauge, so this is fine. Okay, so this is, I think this one automatically takes it as a continuous value, regardless of what I've chosen here. I mean, I can show you what I've chosen. I have chosen the meter to be as a delta reading, but I think in mobile, you'll have to add the actual value all the time. Yeah, so there is set as delta, but anyway, so it accepts the actual value. Okay. From here, we can see the asset and location history when some work was performed on this particular asset. And if there was some work on the location, that all that details can be viewed from here. This is also a recent feature that has been added. This was not available previously. But we have received a lot of questions regarding work order status history. That is not visible here as of today, but you can see the asset and location history. What work has been performed on this particular asset and location in the past. Those details are available from this particular option. Okay, so we can see that. Anyway, let's take a look at this from here only. So I can open my inspection record from here. I have to start the inspection. Now I have an option to fill the values actually. Any leak, all connections. Okay. So as you notice that I was able to complete the inspection without any issues, and now we can see the inspection summary over here, which has been completed now. And if I click on done, we'll be taken back to the same work order. Okay. So that is how inspection works. And okay, now assume this work order was assigned to you. Okay, and it comes as an assignment for you. So the inspection that is associated with this work order will also come up as an assigned inspection for you. So what will happen if you open the inspection application directly? So what happens is if this work order was assigned to you, the corresponding inspection would also show up as an assigned inspection inside this option. Okay. So if you open inspections, it would show up in your assigned inspections. But then again, you can also tweak the corresponding query underneath, and then you can basically modify the way you want to see it here, right? So that option can also be used over here. Okay. So if I want to attach something, I can attach it from here. So let's say if I can, do I have a picture? Nothing. Thing is there. Let me attach this. Okay. So this is attached. Okay, so I can access it from here. If if I go to follow-up, okay, so from here I can also click create follow-up work orders. I can add my sample description. So this is to follow-up. Okay, I can also change all these data. So basically, when you create a work order, you get the same details over and over again, right? So you get to change the description, you get to modify the long description. You can do it like this. Click here and say modify it, save. Okay. You can change the priority. Let's say this is 3 now. You can change the schedule start and schedule stop if you want. Estimated duration is also available. Okay. You can change the work type. Let's say now I am to choose CM type of order, right? So I can choose CM from here. Okay. Let's say the asset remains same. The location should also remain same. And then I can save this. If in case you want to add more data, right, more fields that you want to fill up while creating a work order, so just adding a field would be part of configurations. You can always do that using the app configurator tool. Okay. All right. So we were able to create the work order, follow work order. I'll click on done. Click on, okay, we can also choose to pause the timer using this option or stop the work using this option. Okay. So I can edit the durations if I want to using this. That's okay. So now if I want to close the work order, I can do so. If I want to change the status to something else, that option is also available from here. Okay. You can also add a comment with it that will get added as a memo. Okay. Or you can directly complete the work order from report work, complete work. See, the problem is mobile, when you select the time, it will pick the mobile time, right? So if your mobile is in US time zone, then it will pick the US time zone. Okay. Even though your user ID might be associated with the, let's say, Indian Standard Time Zone, right? But if the mobile is in US time zone, then it will pick the system time only. Because see, even if we can pick the Indian Standard Time in the mobile phone while you're online, in the offline mode we can't do that, right? So in order to avoid that confusion, we are in the mobile phone when you're reporting that time, it is going to pick the current
Correct. Correct.
the mobile time zone only. So this is done in order to handle the offline scenario as well. Okay, so I think that was a demo. I actually purposefully showed the demo only for Tech Mobile, although we can, and we've also seen the inspections. However, you can also take a look at the work approval and the SR. The SR is very straightforward. You can also take a look at the work approval.